let's jump right into the PvP tier list. Is this tier list for PvP or single player? Okay, so this is the PvP list. This is the single player list. We're gonna do the PvP one first because it's gonna take us the longest. So, we're starting right here. Okay, so airbase for PvP. Not very good these days. Is anyone here even using airbase at all? I'm not. I think I've maybe seen one person with airbase, and I just consider the airbase the garbage, dead on arrival. So I'm putting the airbase in the C. The helicopters are not, I don't think they're D. I mean, they could be D. I think they could be C. The highest I'm willing to go for them is like a C minus. If I were to do like more tiers, I would do like C minus. Now the airbase D, D, D. All right. Airbase is D. Airbase is D. I have a contestant for C and B though later in the same line. This man right here. Okay, but second, Anguirus, because we're going in alphabetical order, by the way, until we get to the. No, I think it is all in alphabetical order. Yeah, I think Anguirus is C. Everyone's saying airbase can't even install D tier, D tier. D tier for Anguirus as well? Or are we still on airbase? I'm getting some B's. Anguirus is B. I'm getting C's. I think he's a C tier. I think he's really good for new players, but I think in the late game, he's not very good. C plus, C's, B, C. Yeah, I'm putting him in a C. Anguirus is definitely a B or an A if you're like a brand new player, but as you progress into the game, he's more of a C. He's one of the weaker tanks, but if you don't have another tank built up or a lot of units, he's pretty worth it. Batra Larva is a C tier unit, I think. And I'm just going to preface this, most of the pre-evolutions I think are C tier. I think there's one exception later on, but I think Batra Larva is C tier. Batra Imago, I think Batra Imago is B tier, but lately I'm getting a lot of messages about how he is A tier, so as if anyone here can talk me out of that. The game doesn't do anything, C, B. I think Batra is a B. A tier for the evolved units. I don't know about that. Not all the units. Batra Larva is strong these days. D for you. Batra would be D minus if you didn't have the buff. C. Yeah. Batra gives a really good buff. Any aerial unit and has survivability. I don't think he's necessarily too bad. Everyone is saying C. Even with the buff. Alrighty. Both Batras are in the C tier. Larva is weak, but the boost is good. Yeah, the boosts are pretty good. B tier, Batra Imago. Larva uses the decent damage. B. Listen, the majority was C for both of them. That's what we're getting. Biollante, I think, is B tier. For the lower form of Biollante is easy. Is B. And I think that, and I mean, good in water, decent spread. But the main Biollante, I think, is definitely B tier. Really cheap and pretty strong. Yo, Plant Beast form is D. B's for Batra. Y'all are crazy. But I was like a B. Biollante is B. Yeah. I think that the flower form is C. I think the flower form might actually be D. I don't think the flower form covers enough ground for it to be C. It's like just decent and it's slow, so you're really not fighting anything with it. Biollante is B, flower form C minus. There's a delay with YouTube. All the C are for Batra Larva. I know I have stream delay on one of my chats, but I have a separate chat up as well, and I can get it in real time. If your friend is level 9 Biollante and you got 22 win streak with it, oh my gosh. Okay, but I think this looks good for now. I think this is pretty solid. Stealth Bomber D, yeah. Who was ahead of the curve right there? Dinar, yeah. Stealth Bomber is definitely D tier. I mean, I'm a fan of the Stealth Bomber going for the leader and attacking, but it just doesn't provide anything to your team really, and it's literally counterable by anything with anti-air. It's not a good spot. I know a lot of people in seasons 1 and 2 are like, it's S tier, it's S tier. I've never seen this as anything but D tier, to be completely honest. Bomber's definitely in the D tier. Stealth Bomber's D tier, yeah. Everyone agrees with Batra is so much better than Bio. S tiers for bomber, dead unit. Now here's our first controversial unit of the night. Is Desghidorah. Toho intends for Desghidorah to be S tier. I think Desghidorah is B tier. I think Desghidorah is it gets really high damage. Desghidorah gets really nice speed. Desghidorah's attack speed is miserable. Listen to this. Desghidorah's attack speed is 2.8 seconds. Desghidorah can be stun locked by every unit that has a stun in the game. The Mbob base counters Desghidorah, Minilla counters Desghidorah, and the Mbob pair will counter Desghidorah. And as it stands right now, I would go as far as say 95% of players have Desghidorah at rank 1. Unless you're whaling, you do not have it past rank 1. And even at this rank, Desghidorah will get stun locked because his attack speed is so slow. He has good range. The spread is good for Desghidorah, right? The spread is decent, but it's in a straight line. And that's fine. And the burn is really good. If you can get a unit up close and hit him with that burn, you're going to do a lot of damage over the 8 seconds that burn will cast. I think it's like 50 damage a second. So it's like decent, and it's 8 seconds. So what is that, 600? And what is it, 600 and... What is 8 times 5? Why am I being like so dumb right now? 40? I don't know. Whatever. He doesn't do enough, and he gets stun locked. You're all saying A tier. I think this is the one that I'm vetoing. I do not think he's A tier. It just shoots unlike Kid. You can cover most of the field. What's your next vote for Isabel line after Kiryu? I don't know. Ultimate Minecraft Gaming. Whenever they do another poll. Yeah, Stitches. If you do not spam, if anyone, this goes for anyone. If anyone spams messages, I'm just gonna block you. So. And it also is really taking up the chat, and it's making it hard for me to read everyone's answers. But Desghidorah, I think at a higher level, Desghidorah would be a low A. Desghidorah is a B unit, and I literally think it is a B unit because he's just going to get stun locked by anything. Your Desghidorah is a D. As far as I'm concerned, Desghidorah is a D unit as long as the enemy has anything with a stun. Diego, please no spam. This community list, as this is a community list, not yours. He can get stun locked, but it's easy to avoid. Dorats C for me. Okay, I can't count everyone's votes if there's ton of people putting in the same things over and over and over again. B, so I'm getting a lot of B. I've got a lot of A's. I got a lot of C's, which makes me, in any case, want to put him in B, like right in the middle. Because I think Desghidorah is really strong, and I think as long as you can take care of any units that stun on the opposing team, he's going to absolutely roll your opponent. But the fact that you can make it so Desghidorah never fires a shot is really bad. And you know, him and G21 suffer the same stun lock fate, right? But the difference is G21's ability is more useful than Desghidorah's. I think Desghidorah is B. He has the potential to be the best unit in the game if they shortened his attack time by like 0.6 seconds, 0.7 seconds. He would be literally insane. But because he can get stun locked by the cheapest and most terrible of units, do a poll? Oh, I can do a YouTube poll. Let me do that. I can do a YouTube poll right now. Okay, I'll run a poll. I couldn't do polls on Twitch. I didn't know I could do this, but I totally can here. So let me see. Let me see where this is at. A poll for each one is a waste of time, correct? But I'm gonna do a poll for Desghidorah because Desghidorah is probably the biggest unit we're gonna get this whole like stream. B or A. Why am I in this one? A, B. I'm gonna add another option, and I'm gonna do C. This is the one poll we're doing tonight. Did it go up? I don't even see it. There it is, okay. Look at that. Yeah, do polls for controversial units. I totally think that he's I'm just distracted right now because I'm looking at the polls. I think that Desghidorah could be S tier if they shortened his timer, but they're not. Okay. Look at that. We got 23 votes. Okay, I'm ending it. This is overwhelming. B tier. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Now I don't know how to get this fucking poll off my screen. There you go. It's up. Sweet. I think there's just just a delay on my end. The initial burn damage, yes, is sick. His range is great. His attack is great. His health is great. Like, everything about him is great except for his attack speed, which makes it so he basically will never take a turn. And because his attack speed is so long, say he's targeting Gigan. Gigan will run past him, right under him and past him before he even goes, and it's going to turn Desghidorah the whole way around. So now not only has Desghidorah spun in the opposite direction, he has to work back around. He has to work his way back around, then to attack again. B unit, if they up his speed, he'll be a god tier unit, 100%. Dorats. Oh gosh, Dorats are also one of the brand new units. The Dorats, I think the Dorats might be D tier. They have very similar stats to the the normal Kamacuras, but they're not seeing a lot of play. They're like one shot by everything. They're just Kama in the sky, but I think there's a little. As Zerpulse, my logic is so flawed. Explain, because Desghidorah is useless if he gets hit by any stun. He will stop attack. It's the same as Godzilla 21, but Godzilla 21 at least has more utility once he can hit a unit. Dorats D, C. If you think they're good or bad, then that's fine. Yeah. D Dorats. Dorats are pretty bad. They just have low health. Yeah, I mean, a lot of their stats are on par with the regular commas, but their health is pretty low. You say Dorats are C if they're upgraded. Yeah, I've been wanting to get the Dorats up. As Zorpos, you already explained. Scroll up. The same thing, 89 is only B tier because he can be stun locked. Yeah, but G89 also has a shorter attack, and G89 can hit as well. He can break through a Minilla stun lock. Desghidorah, okay, the M-Boss and the M-Boss base won't fully stun a G89, but they will fully stun Desghidorah. But the Dorats are D. The Dorats are D. I'm not talking about Desghidorah anymore. You guys are free to obviously believe whatever you want, but we took a poll and everyone decided Desghidorah is B. Dimension Tide is D tier. D for Doors. What do you think will be the next battle piece in December? I do not know, Minecraft Gaming. The Dimension Tide is D tier. I don't think I need to really explain the Dimension Tide too much for everyone. It's kind of not amazing. And I know it got like a little bit of a buff at some point, but it's just like, it's not good. I don't really need to explain that too much. A tier though, I think the Energy Collector is A tier. I know Echan's probably gonna hate that for sure. Rookie's like D tier Dimension Tide. Dimension Tide who? But I think the energy base is A tier. I mean, obviously, if you're running a high-powered deck, you're going to want more energy. Again, if it's upgraded, it's really good. We could say, Blue Champ Gaming, that if you upgrade any of these units, they're really good. I'm talking, like, we're talking about, like, if all these units are level 30, if all these units are the max that they could possibly go, at that point, then which is going to be the best units? Because we can always do, oh, you know, my level 28 G89 is S tier because of everything else level 15 is just going to run right through it. E-Collector. Yeah, I think the energy base is A tier because if you run a high energy deck, this is going to save your life. Although a lot of people say it's extremely OP, and I don't believe that the energy collector is extremely OP. Because of the energy Everyone is like, oh, the energy collector is going to just pump out a massive amount of energy. You're only really netting a positive 3 energy. You're just doing it a little bit faster. It's definitely not S tier, but I think everyone seems to say A or B, so I'm going to leave it in A. Frozen Sunday or whatever is D tier. Yeah, they gave it a buff, but the buff really isn't that good. I mean, I don't feel like I really have to elaborate on it. Sorry if I like pause. I'm just trying to read chat. There's just so much to catch up on. The Sunday is D tier. It does a little bit of damage, but I mean, and it's cheap, which is good. But it's really, I think it's an energy burn. If you use Sunday, you throw it out there, it's just gonna burn whatever energy you have. Okay, instantly because I know it's coming. The freeze is B tier. It's super useful in sticky situations. Agree. Energy collector A can be stopped in easy 2 game. C, D. Sunday is situational. Sunday seems to be getting a lot of varied responses as well. I think it's a D. I think it truly is D tier. I think the damage is decent, and I think maybe at a lower level, like a lower rank play, it's gonna help you out. But I really do not think in the toppest of top. I mean, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet once. Now, Gigan as a unit. I think Gigan is C tier as a unit. You send out your B and a monster. I'm going to send out Godzilla and use Gigan to send him to your leader. Yeah. Gigan, I think, is a C unit. He will go after, like, Markalite Cannon. He'll go after the bases, the facilities. But the only real facility that he's going to be attacking is like the energy collector, because no one else is really using a ton of other facilities. Why Sunday when you have Death Bug? Gigan is a unit of C. C, yeah. Dinar, please no spam. Too low health. Yeah, Gigan, honestly, every single Gigan I've fought that's a unit, not a leader, never makes it to my leader. You know, every time I see a Gigan, it's like, alright, my Ultima's just going to make quick work of him and just take him out. So C tier. Everyone seems to be in agreement C tier. Or at least a large majority. Now, Godzilla Terrestris is also C tier. Godzilla Terrestris has a really great healing mechanic. In the beginning, for 15 seconds, he gets like a really solid heal. But, man, I mean, he has good speed too. His damage is decent, but he has not a lot of health. And so, if your enemy can start hitting him after the healing has gone out, he's gonna die. It's gonna be like 2 hits. High enough King Caesars will be able to kill him in 1. Megaguirus will kill him for 2 at a high enough level. He's crying with the Biollante buff. I mean, yeah, Gigan is insane with the Biollante buff, but I'm not taking any buffs into consideration, because then I could just apply the 150% buff that Biollante gives to everybody and be like, oh yeah, he's insane with this buff, or the Batra speed buff and stuff like that. He's an S tier, too weak. Level King Caesar, level Jan can kill it. Yeah, Terrestris B. I'm getting some C's, some B's for Terrestris. That's situational. He can be defended easily. I mean, yeah, you can defend Terrestris easily, right? But that's like me saying any of these units here with a combo is like gonna do really well. I think on his own, Terrestris is not the best. I'm getting B's. Terrestris is easily some B's. Okay, he's a B. Trust me, my strategy to take out this Terrestris is wait till he gets to my base, and he loses his regen, and I use Desghidorah and he burn him. We're giving the same thing. Sunday is situational. He's B. Alright. We're getting a lot of votes for B. Terrestris, low B, in my opinion. We're getting a lot of B. G21 is either S or A tier because in the game, but he can be countered and given escort. He could melt through the leaders. Yeah. And I know that I'm going to get flack for this for saying that Desghidorah is easily stunned. Godzilla 21 is A tier. And the reason he's A tier and not B tier with Desghidorah is because G21, in the way his ability works, is just the best ability in the game. As long as he can be kept alive. And I know like it's situational, like keeping Terrestris alive. But if you can keep G21 alive, he will absolutely and utterly destroy your opponent. It doesn't even matter the level. Even with a level 1, I tested it the day or two that he first came out. Echan and I were on Twitch, and we were testing out G21, and a level 1 G21 will kill, or at the time would kill a level 20 leader, level 25 leader, in 8 seconds. That is a crazy number. I firmly believe G21 is A tier. His health is low, yes. A pull. G21 gets wrecked by Minilla, yes. But the way he's so easy to counter, I'll put him to B tier. I truly believe he's A tier because of the nature of his move. G21 is strongest, distracted against all units. He's a god. G21 is a B. He gets stun locked by all. It is difficult to make him alive. Okay, you guys, listen. Not just my stream. It is my stream, but not just my list. It's your guys' list. We're getting a lot of information. We'll put him in the B tier. I believe he's A tier because he'll nuke a unit. It's just with the stuns and all that. But I see what you mean, and with Desghidorah as well, the stuns are just too much for them. When he high level, he is amazing. I think G21 is definitely an A. What everyone is saying B. We're getting some A's right there, but you see him in the meta. I mean, there's not really a meta this last few seasons. It's mainly like a kind of whatever you want. If all of these units were level 30, G21 would be S tier. But I think that he's A. He's kind of a glass cannon. His ability's really good. But a lot of you guys are saying B. Alright, Gigan is trolling with Godzilla 89 in D tier. G21 is A tier. If not S tier, he is A tier. Pull it again. I'll only do a quick poll. G21, A or B? There we go. Run that poll. Let's see it go live. Yeah, there is no meta. I'm with Rookie. There's literally no meta. So let's see the poll right here. I'll leave it up for only a few seconds, so get it in while you can. My thing is like pulling up the my browser for some reason. Interesting. Oh, A is overtaken B. Wow, this poll feature is incredible. I didn't even know we could do a poll. Okay, that's 28 votes. All right. That looks good to me. So G21 is A tier, and I was willing to put him in B for you guys, but on that poll, y'all put him in A, so that's on you guys. G89. I was gonna put G89 in S tier, but I think G89 is A. I want to put him in S. I want to put him in S really badly because he's just unmatched. The only problem is he gets stun locked. Dino excels, yes, we're ranking combat ability, PvP, player versus player. Also welcome. He's a Godzilla's a B tier because he's high level. He can defeat a leader, no sweat. Then he would be, I think he would be higher than A. B at that point. S, G9 is A, Godzilla's A, solid A. You dare, A. A9 is S tier, A. B, I get out of here. A tier, can't hit air. Gen is A. G89 is low, S, high A because more flyers are being added. So there are, yes, obviously flyers being added that he can hit, but what ground unit does more damage on hit than he does? High damage, high health, only countered by swarms and Minilla. A. All right, listen, you guys want him in A, you guys don't want him in S? We're gonna be hard pressed to find a S tier unit then. If I'm not doing another poll for Godzilla 89. It's I'm reading the chat. It's overwhelming A tier for 89. So we'll leave him there for now. Next up is Ultima. We got Ultima Pog over here. I think Ultima Pog is a A unit. I don't think he's ever really been S tier. I think he was S tier like the first 2 seasons of the game. There wasn't too many units, but I now with more I know with more units coming out, he is lower. He was an A tier last season, and I think he's an A tier this season. His range is really good. His range is only matched by Super X. The only downside to Ultima is it takes him a little while to load. S-A. When I use G89, he's close to the other unit. Doesn't do anything when Minilla freeze. A. is... When has Ultima ever been lower than A? It's always Ultima meta. Yeah, literally Ultima's in like every deck. So I'll leave him in the A tier. Alright. D tier. And I hate to do a D tier, but I think the Hedorah flying is D tier for sure. Everyone in chat is still on Ultima. That's fine. He has good range, but terrible at everything else. I mean, that's his whole thing. Stitches, his Ultima is range. Like, he is the range. His damage is good, too. And especially for the range, he's going to get a ton of hits in. Bro to Gamer, I do not think there's an S tier on this list anymore. My vote for S tier was G89. But everyone voted him out of S tier. I don't think there's another S tier unit in this chart, though. But, that's, you know, it's a community vote. And that's what everyone wanted. But Hedorah flying form, I think, is D tier. He doesn't really do too much. He just vibes and he just like flies around and then he evolves. So he's D tier, is not really doing too much. Now Hedorah, big Hedorah, A tier for sure. Mature form is C tier. Blue Champ Gaming, you're out of your mind. Hedorah, big Hedorah is A tier. If I see King Ghidorah in the S tier, fight me. No, Hedorah, big Hedorah is in the A tier for sure. There's no point in have unevolved Hedorah. Kong is S tier, hot take. Kong is really good. He's C tier. I think Hedorah is A tier. Okay, so mature is A. Mature, I want to make this clear. Mature has always been A tier. And then they buffed him for some reason. And now he is just so much better. I don't think he's quite S tier. But he's definitely high A tier. If there was any other unit on this list that wasn't G89 to be S tier, I would make it Hedorah. And I am a very big Hedorah advocate, but Hedorah is just like amazing in this game. So easy A, Hedorah. Jet Jaguar is a different kind of breed altogether. I'm a fan of Jet Jaguar, but he's really slacking these days. I'm putting JJ in B. There's an argument for A. I think he's low A now. Jet Jaguar is still good. I use him actively in my deck. But he's mainly just there to body block, and he's one of the units I'm thinking of taking out of my deck. He's either low A or high B, I would have to imagine. Maybe I'll do like a S plus, S minus, A, and all that. Make it more diverse later. But we're getting a B or A, B, A, A, B, B. JJ is high B. The block can be game-changing or do nothing, and also decent against swarms. No, yeah, Jet Jaguar and Hedorah are like really good against swarms. I know there's like some kind of delay going on right now, and YouTube's weird like that. This is the first time we've done it on YouTube. Twitch is more like up to date. But Jet Jaguar is really good at covering units. He's really good at taking shots and like helping out like Terrestris evolve or Mothra evolve and stuff like that. He's mainly just there to eat shots. That's his whole deal, is to eat shots and then counter the swarms. But now that we have Hedorah in the decks for the same cost as Jet Jaguar, we might not really need Jet Jaguar. It looks like there's an overwhelming majority of B, B+. We're making you need it so badly. Yeah, and then maybe next on the next stream we'll do like a B+, A+, stuff like that. I wrote an entire dissertation in the meta section of Discord explaining why Kamacuras is better than JJ. Oh yeah, I read that. And speaking of, I think the Kamacuras is A tier. Or no, oh my god, not A tier, B. This Kamacuras is getting a lot of play at the higher levels. Nasaji has made a very compelling argument for it, which I'm not going to go over. But if you want to read it, it's somewhere in the meta section in the Discord. The Kamacuras is cheap, and they're really good at protecting. I've seen a lot of decks recently run, they'll put a Terrestris down or an evolution unit, and then they'll drop a Kamacuras down on the unit. So I'm thinking that they're B. I think an argument can be made for A. For some reason, the Kamacuras is coming back. I'm seeing a ton of this one recently. A is B tier. Normal Cam's A tier with Minilla. If I pin it. We'll have to go in there and pin it eventually. Zen Hero. The Return of the King, high B. Alright, we're putting Kamacuras in high B tier then. The same can't be said for Kamacuras Swarm, though. I think Kamacuras Swarm is C tier. I think maybe the Kamacuras Swarm is B tier. The Kamacuras Swarm is more expensive, and they have less health because there's more of them, which is fine, but they're going to die way faster. Yeah, Phil Britt says it pretty good. Swarm is C because of health. I'm a fan of both of the commas. I think if you're going to choose one, the 3 commas for cheaper is better than more for... I mean, the more commas for the more energy, obviously. They're fast and they will turn flyer heads so your flyers can kill theirs. Low C Mothra Leo beats Desghidorah with the charge attacking Swarm. Oh god, Kamacuras Swarm. Yeah. We're going to keep the Swarm at the C. Okay, listen, King Caesar, I'm putting him in the A tier. I have a feeling we're going to maybe get some S tiers out of the chat for King Caesar. I'm a King Caesar advocate. I was advocating for him 2 seasons ago. I'm still going to advocate for him. King Caesar is the best evolution killer in the game. Especially on maps that are primarily land, where he can just get a full head start and not be bogged down by water. There are some really good units to counter him, like the Emboss and Minilla, basically anything with a stun, or even Megaguirus, who can use the slow on him. He's A tier. A, yeah. Overwhelming A tier for Caesar. Gets countered really, really easily. King Caesar A because of the change. Or the charge. He's easy S. Ooh. A, S. Alright, alright. King Caesar C. C for Caesar. No, I think we're going to keep him in A. It seems to be the overwhelming view in this chat. But he gets countered easily. Stitches, every unit in the game can be countered easily as well. But, like, pure, like, battle potential, though, you know? Like, I could say every unit in the A tier can be countered easily, and then I'm just going to put them all in D tier. But individually, powered individually, I think King Caesar is in the A tier. For just what he does is great. King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah has definitely an argument for B, but I think King Ghidorah is in the A tier. King Ghidorah is basically what you want to run instead of Desghidorah, I believe, as of now. Especially if you're free to play, your Desghidorah is not going to be too high. Odds are everyone in this chat has a higher King Ghidorah than they do Desghidorah. And King Ghidorah is cheaper. B tier. B because health and damage. They did also nerf his range. King Ghidorah is an A tier. If anyone says S tier, fight me. A. King Caesar is an A. Great damage and range and AoE can be sniped by Ultima, yeah. Get some good Dorats. A, B, spread. Yeah, S tier. King Ghidorah S tier. We have 3 S tiers for King Ghidorah. I think he's A. I don't think he's S tier. Only because the other flying units will kill, or not other flying units, specifically Megaguirus will tank a King Ghidorah and just absolutely obliterate him. And then, you know, Super X will snipe him, Ultima will snipe him. I think he's good in A tier. I don't think he's S tier, and if he was S tier, he would be like the lowest of the S tiers. Wait, why is ERB in A tier? Because it's good for giving you energy. King Ghidorah's a swarm sweeper. You should use it when swarms are supporting strong units like G89. Yes, but I would make the argument, why use King Ghidorah in your deck to sweep swarms for 6 energy when you can use Hedorah or Jaguar for 4? Cheaper. Next up, Kong. Kong is a B tier unit. Kong is so good. Kong is slept on. Kong is easily the most slept on in this game. Kong is so strong, and his stats are really solid. He gets like a ton of health as he progresses. He's just... It's just so hard to level him. And you cannot get enough pieces for him. He's like a great substitute for G89. He doesn't have the like same stats 1-to-1, but he's so beefy. And he's so strong. He's definitely slept on. Cheaper not stronger is based on how much King Ghidorah you have. B, everyone says B for the monkey. Yeah, dude, Kong is a sleeper unit. Like top 10 sleeper units in the game. Kong is like number 1. No one plays Kongs, really. And if they do, their Kongs are low. Kong is so strong. If you check the stats out, the like Brahma's calculate and everything, Kong is actually really strong. I'm keeping him in B tier. It looks like you guys also are okay with B tier. Now we're on the Destroyer Larva. I want to almost put the Destroyer Larva in C tier, but at the same time, I think they might be in D tier because I feel like they just are they're way too easily taken down. They're grouped up a little close. Like, the thing that separates them from the Kamacuras swarm is that they're just too closely spread. So, like, a Hedorah can hit a Kamacuras swarm with some damage, right? And not kill all the Kamacuras. But Hedorah can hit the Destroyer Larva and just kill all the Destroyer Larva in one shot. Who's faster in water would depend on Gigan. C, they're D+, C, Destroyer Larva is D. Saying a unit sleeper and you put it in B, JK. High D, C, Crab Army is D or C. I'll put, there's a lot of votes for D or C, C+. I'll put them in C. They're not terrible. They're really good for newer players, but unfortunately, so many of the flyer units have like AoEs at this point that it's making it like difficult. Countered by literally everything. All right. Markalite Cannon. I think Markalite Cannon is a C tier. It's a facility, so it's not going to move anywhere. You just place it, and then it stays. And it lasts for, like, what, 15 or 20 seconds or something like that? And in that amount of time, how many hits are you putting out with it? 2 or 3 hits? And it slowly goes down over time. If they're countered by everything, it should be D. Yeah, I mean, I agree, but there's a lot of people in here voting for C, and it's a community list, putting it in the C tier. D, Markalite Cannon is C. King Kong, you know the name of King Kong, you know the name. It's just a band? I don't get the reference. Markalite is very situational. He's a D or C. No, C or D. Good for the events, C or D. Strong but slow, doesn't move, C or D. I'm putting it in the C tier. I don't think it's a D tier because the Markalite does great damage. Dude, Kong 2021 is stronger than Godzilla 2021. I mean, in terms of outright damage output, Ultimate Minecraft Gaming, yes, but because of G21's ability in the long run, he would be stronger. Okay, MBOF facility, I think is a C tier. And I think the MBOF facility is up from D tier this season. It's from an old King Kong show. Oh, I don't know any of the old King Kong shows. But the MBOFs are moving up from D tier to C tier because with G89 and G21 and Desghidorah, if you have enough of these guys on the field, you can perma lock those 3 characters. You can stun them. Betcha's your favorite Godzilla battle line? Well, he's in the C tier. MBOS is just C. Yeah, I think the cannons, or the base is up from D to C because you can stun lock a lot more units than you previously could. C tier. Now, the MBOS base as well, or the MBOS base is the one we just did. The MBOS pair, though, I think is C. I think we can make an argument for the MBOS pair to be a B tier. I have all the units. I need one more. Congratulations. The MBOS base is annoying, definitely C. Alright, well, we'll keep it then in the C tier. We'll keep both of these guys over there. But I think we're talking about still, maybe the stream is delayed. But I'm putting the MBOS in the C spot. I think the MBOS pair could be B tier, but I think the MBOS pair is more accurately a C because it's just basically it's one shot by everything. Alright, Mechagodzilla is a B tier. Mechagodzilla has like a decent health pool. Damage is alright. The damage is alright on Mechagodzilla. Really good anti-air. Really good against like Rodan, Mothras, King Ghidorahs. And cheap for 4 energy. But there's nothing that Mechagodzilla does extraordinarily well. That no one, like, I would rather have Ultima or Minilla on my team than maybe Mechagodzilla. Mechagodzilla was better when there was less units in the game. But now that there's more units, he's solid in B. I don't think he's going to get lower than B unless there's like some crazy meta shifts, but I think he's in that B section. Mechagodzilla or Megaguirus A tier. Mechagodzilla really slow. Okay. Then we'll go with the level 11 Desghidorah. Okay, so we're gonna leave Mechagodzilla then in B tier because this seems to be the optimal place that everyone is looking at him. Megaguirus is A tier though. Megaguirus is so good. And I feel like my how-to guide on Megaguirus like did not do her justice, man. Megaguirus kicks ass. Her slow is great. Her speed is decent. Her damage is great. Her health is decent. Yo, do a giant octopus meme? No, we're doing a tier list, and giant octopus not in it. What's your favorite battle piece in Battle Line? I think Megaguirus or Hedorah is probably my favorite pieces. Megaguirus is a high level. She kills all flying units. Yeah, Megaguirus is so insane. She's so good. If you guys are on the fence about Megaguirus, totally throw her in your deck. She is really good. Man, I'm a big fan of Megaguirus. She has saved me so many times. Alright, now Minilla. I'm putting Minilla in the S tier spot. I think Minilla is the truest of S tier. You say, yo, Minilla low B, you're out of your mind. Minilla is S tier though. Not Minilla B or C, bro. Minilla is 2. Hold on. Let me explain. Let me explain for all these Minilla naysayers. 2 energy. Okay. Fast. Stun locks. Some of the best units in the game. Desghidorah has amazing stats. GD9 has amazing stats. G21 amazing stats. 2 energy. 2 energy. And Minilla will stun everything. Minilla has incredible range. Hear me out. Minilla has incredible range. Quick question, is Hedorah a he or she? The Hedorah in this tier list is a she. But Minilla combos well with every single unit in the game. No. Low A, you guys are out of your mind. Minilla combos well with every unit. Minilla is 2 energy, which is one of the lowest costing units in the game, period. He stuns. He has great range. Minilla is A tier. Manilla's so good, he's annoying. Dude, every single deck runs Minilla. Literally, I'm putting up a poll. Every single deck runs Minilla. I think I threw the poll up without putting a B tier, but it's fine. Minilla is, if any other unit in this game, Minilla is S tier. Minilla is so annoying. Dude, every deck runs Minilla. And he's 2 cost. You cannot just on a standpoint of how Minilla operates, you cannot beat it. Like, you cannot beat the price for what you get from Minilla. There's literally no other units in this game that do what he does as well as he does, and for as cheap as he comes. Mbob base does what Minilla does, but it's 5 energy, and you have to wait like a million years to get like 4 Mbos out of the tank. The Mbob pair has 2 Mbos, yeah, but they can be 1 shot. And each of them is 1 shot. Minilla can take multiple hits at high levels. He has insane range, which is going to take other units a little while to get there, and he'll stun lock everything. Fast attackers take out Minilla. Correct, yes, but any slow attackers are out of the question. And we got 28 votes for Minilla at S tier. Minilla is staying in S tier. Minilla literally is one of the superior units in the game. Fact. Minilla is so powerful. If you are not running a Minilla in your deck, I don't know what is going on with you. But Minilla is definitely S tier. Super X is just flying Minilla, but worse. Well, we'll get to Super X eventually, because I think Super X is going to have a lot of contention as well for where he's being placed. Or it, I guess, because it's a tank. Or it's a flying vehicle. The missiles. Also, Copter and Mbob base need to be unnerfed. I think the word you're looking for is buffed, sir. Alright. Missiles are D tier. Missiles are like alright. It's from LA versus me because of the battle line. We're in the middle of a tier list, so I'm not going to be versing anybody right now. The missiles, I think, are in the D tier. The missiles are really only clearing swarms, and I mean, I guess you can use them to clear Minilla and some facilities, but they're just not being played. Stuck missiles suck. Yeah, the missiles are not great at all. They're decent. I mean, they do good damage, and they can take out the facilities, but there's not really a lot of facilities being run besides, like, energy station. If you're trading 5 for 5 energy, I think there's better things you could do to get rid of the energy base. Like someone in chat mentioned earlier, someone drops energy base, you drop G89 with Gigan ability, hit the ability, and he's gonna zoom across the map. They're out 5 energy, and then your Godzilla's right in their face. That is so hard to deal with, and the missiles are not really being used a lot. If they're just there to take down the energy base, it's useless. Missiles lose you the energy race, yeah. Moguera, I don't know. I think Moguera is a C tier. I want to say Moguera is a B tier unit because of where you can place Megaguirus anywhere, or Moguera, you can place him anywhere, but he's just not doing the same amount of damage he was doing. He has great speed though. Moguera has great speed. You can place him anywhere. He has the best movement in the game for sure. Great at sweeping low-level leaders or 4-star leaders, but he did get a really big nerf. I'm guessing some B tiers for Moguera. Weapon is going to be S tier anywhere it is in GPL. Yeah, Hydroraptor, it's a fact. Who want to get rid of a heli base and who runs them? Exactly, Rookie. Like, who would want to even get rid of these things with the light? Moguera might want to be Biba on a C. Moguera used to be the fat S tier. Moguera was so good back in the day. D tier, B tier, C for sure. No, Moguera, if any unit in this game, Moguera might have had the biggest fall from grace. Moguera was like the pinnacle unit for sniping, and it's just too expensive and doesn't do as much as for what I would rather have, like Hedorah and Minilla pop out than use a Moguera. Mothra Larva, D tier. Like I said earlier, most of the Evos are in the C or the D tier. They're not really too strong. Mothra Larva is no exception, pretty slow. You're really not going to see a lot of combat with Mothra Larva, and if Mothra Larva sees combat, the odds that they die is insanely high. Alright, but Mothra herself, I mean, could be a low B or a high C, like the drink high C. I want to know what you guys think specifically about Mothra. Moguera's an S tier in a wave event, though. Oh my god, yeah, absolutely. Mothra Larva, easy to kill, C or D. D tier, yeah, for sure. Imago B, Leo is C. Bro, Mothra D tier. Remember when you just need Moguera to kill every Mothra leader? Pepper Ridge Farm remembers. Hazen Moguera would be pretty cool, but more units. Like, Shoutout would be awesome. Mothra doesn't take that much time to evolve, though, yeah, but, I mean, if she was to come up in combat against literally anyone, Mothra Larva would die. Imago is getting good. I've been seeing a lot of Mothra Imagos lately. A lot of them. Mine's level 30 Mothra. It's insane. Mothra dies way too quick. Mothra Larva is bad. I think normal Mothra could be a B tier. I think she's doing a lot. She's decent. And a lot of you guys have voted for B tier anyway. Mothra Leo, I think Mothra Leo is C tier, and Mothra Leo is supposed to be the fastest unit in the game, which is true. And he does take a little while to get going with his speed ramp up, and then once he makes contact, it's like 2 times his damage. He does good damage on hit, but once he stops, like once he makes that one big hit, he's really pretty much dead in the water. Like you're using him just to do one big hit. Godzilla with 1L. Do not spam emotes in the chat, thank you. It's pretty solid B. God, I'm laughing. Leo is high C. Mothra Leo attack speed sucks. Yeah, no, Mothra Leo's attack speed is super bad. But Wonder what Desghidorah would be like at level 2 or beyond that. I think beyond level 2, Desghidorah could be A tier, but the stun lock is really preventing it from getting any higher. But a high level Desghidorah will destroy. Leo's a 2 times on dash, KC's 3 times on dash, yeah. I made a video about it, and there's all the numbers are there, but I don't even remember what it is. But yeah, Leo is knockoff King Caesar. Yeah, I think Mothra Leo is a C tier. Mothra Leo's like initial hit is really good, but at the end of the day, it's like whatever. Chorus is D. Yeah, Chorus got a buff, but even post buff, like the Chorus is not seeing any kind of play in the multiplayer, like PvP at all. Chorus is just sitting there, is kind of useless, honestly, and I really don't think there needs to be much more elaboration than that. The Chorus is just like, the Chorus is pretty much just dead on arrival. B tier. Regular Rodan was like Rodan 64. Rodan's alright. Rodan's what is Rodan? Is like pretty cheap. What is he like? 5 energy, 4 energy? He's decent. He has good speed, he has good attack, he doesn't really have a lot of health. But he is a really good option to slot into your deck, and you get him really early on. So he is a unit that can be worth building throughout your entire like life in the game, you know? The Psychic Orchestra is good, it can heal you. It like doesn't heal you that much, Blue Champ Gaming. Fire Rodan should be as B. Rodan is A, but the heal sucks. Yeah, the heal's terrible on the Psychic Chorus. But Mothra, or not Mothra, Rodan I think is B tier. Chorus would be great if it cleansed debuffs. That would be actually huge. We're getting some hits for Rodan in A, but a lot more for B. I'm going to leave it in B for now, and we'll come back to it. Fire Rodan, or I guess this is Rodan 1993, so the base one. I think the base Rodan is terrible. I'm gonna put him in the D tier, and he has like decent attack speed. He has like, no health, right? He has no health, and he gives a great speed boost. But this speed boost is gonna get him killed more times than not, and it's just gonna prevent you from healing him at all. Or not healing, but evolving him. Like, he's his own downfall for the pre-evolution Fire Rodan. He just swoops in and will die, right? You need to like drop him over like Kamacuras Swarm or something like that, or like a G89, a unit that he can just follow around and peck at them until either he evolves or that unit dies. Because he just will just die. He just goes in, shows up, and dies. He has a good speed buff, but because he gets the speed buff, he's just pushing everything into a really big team fight, right? And then he's gonna die in that fight. But Fire Rodan is A tier, baby. Fire Rodan is strong, and Fire Rodan's damage is not very good. But that's not why we have him in A tier. Fire Rodan's health pool that he drops on the ground is insane. The heal that you get from Fire Rodan is literally insane. It's like pre-nerf Psychic Chorus. Fire Rodan is high A tier. An argument could be made for S. Because, and he dies so fast, right? But that's his whole gimmick. You don't need Fire Rodan to just be alive and do damage. You need him to die. He exists to die. So Fire Rodan, literally, once you have him evolve, just send him into a team fight. And watch him die to like a King Ghidorah or a Hedorah's AoE. And then he just heals up your entire team. His heal will make or break battles. His heal is as good, if not stronger, than Season 1 Psychic Chorus, Season 2 Psychic Chorus, or whatever. I'm seeing a lot of Fire Rodan's Bs. I see a lot of A's in the chat, though. The heal is so good on him. I cannot stress this enough. You want to pull? Pull for Fire Rodan. Fire Rodan. S, A, and B. There we go. There's a pull up. Fire Rodan is an S, good region damage and good speed boost. Yeah, dude, Fire Rodan's healing is insane. I see he's pulling hard for A. That's where I have him, okay. There's a lot of chance for S. Okay, look at that. A is moving down a little bit, going up. B just went up a little bit. People are saying he's S tier. You gotta throw in that vote. And the speed boost, you gotta remember, he also has an insane speed boost as well. And if you're not running a Gigan leader, then this could be helpful, that speed boost. Plus he's cheap. But it looks like we have decided that he is going to be A tier. That is 30 votes. That is 29 votes with 62% saying A. Poll is ending. We're going to leave him in the A tier. Thank you guys for that little vote. This poll is so handy. Alright. Z-Dub's S tier, baby. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, bro. People just don't know how to use him. He's an S. Listen, we polled it. A tier won it out. You don't even need Rodan leveled up, right? His whole purpose is to die. The more that you have him leveled, he'll like have more survivability to evolve, which is fine. But you want him to die because then he will heal you. Spacegodzilla. I think Spacegodzilla is A tier. I use Spacegodzilla regularly. He doesn't have too much health. His damage is like kind of middle ground. But the crystals and the buff that he provides is like the real utility, because he's a support unit. He's not he's not like a tank, and he's not an offensive unit. He's there to supply like a buff. So like Space G providing Ultima with the buff is really like nasty. Like having Ultima snipe from the back with the whatever that increase is, like I don't even remember what it is. It's really solid. Even like Minilla with the stun, like Spacegodzilla with those crystals will lock in like such nice power. Super X with that boost is going to do a crazy amount of damage. Like, he exists to pump out the crystals. And the crystals is what you want. And the more crystals you have on the field, the better. Not because the crystals are going to give you more buffs, the ones that are over, but because they're great to distract. They're really good to defend off swarms. Yeah, the swarms can like work their way around the crystals, but it's going to distract them for a little bit. Even like GD9 or Megaguirus will get distracted by the crystals, especially units with a low attack speed. And if you can stun them and cancel their attack and new crystals spawn in, they'll just go straight for the crystals instead. Space Godzilla's so devious. If you're saying B, fight me. Super X is straight right D. S tier, Super Space G. Unless the enemy King Ghidorah or Hedorah. Correct, Goji fan. Space Godzilla could be useless if the enemy has Hedorah or King Ghidorah. However, we can say the same thing for like I said earlier, we can say the same thing for any unit in this game. As long as they have X unit or Y unit, they can be countered, they can be bad. But as a standalone, just purely based on what they do, how they perform, Space Godzilla, I think, is A tier, and so does a lot of other people, it seems, because the crystals, the buff that he gives to the team is so solid. As a support unit, he's one of the best, if not the best. Second only maybe to the Heisei Rodan and his healing. All right, next is the Super X. I want to put the Super X in A tier, but I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people who have something to say about the Super X, and I totally think that this one is going to need a poll as well. Yeah, King Ghidorah doesn't do as much against Space G if he isn't placed well. Yeah, if King Ghidorah can't hit both of the crystals, then it's a wash. Doesn't even matter. Things because it has great range. Super X is good at a high level. Super X is so good at a high level. I don't think it's S tier, but at a high level, it's really good. And what is it, like 3 energy? I'll do this. I'll run a poll. Because I know there's a lot of high level players in here, and I know there's a lot of mid game players in here, and all the high tier players are telling me how good it is. I've been using it. It's really good. I'm going to throw in a poll. I think it's A tier myself, but I know there's a lot of mixed opinions, and it's one of the brand new units, so we throw a poll up for that. And let's see how it is going. Pretty much as I would expect in the first few seconds of the poll. Oh, we went from 8 votes to 20 votes. It's a pretty big jump. Yeah, Super X is really good at a high level. It puts out a solid amount of damage, and it has insane range. It has better range than Ultima. Yeah, we're going to end that poll right there. Yeah, you guys, there was 31 votes. That was more than half the chat. And we put him in the A tier, which I think is honestly fitting for the Super X. It does a ton of damage. And last but not least is the trains. I think the trains are D tier. I think an argument can be made for the trains at C tier. But, bro, there's early game people are here. They don't know how late game is. Super X is weaker against Minilla. Yeah, so the downside to Super X, which prevents it from being S tier, is that it can be one-shot by anything with anti-air. But the range and the damage are so good for the price that you're paying that it really is, like... If you're on high level play and someone drops the Super X, like, that needs to be dealt with, like, immediately, because you're gonna be like, oh, it's not doing too much damage, but it has its fast attack and little chip damage. It adds up. The damage from the Super X, it adds up, and it's hard to target because the range is so far away. Trains are useless. Trains D tier. Super X doesn't stun, so it isn't weaker Minilla. I think he meant it's weak 2 Minilla working. Okay, so this was the tier list with D tier to the trains. I think this came out pretty well, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad that we ran some polls. I didn't know we could do that, and that was pretty sick. So thank you all for voting on that.